We got issues to discuss.
I got 99 issues, and only one of them is Easter candy.
Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3.
Why, hello, and welcome to My Whiskey Den, your favorite public access whiskey review show where craft whiskey is king. My computer's all fucked up. It ain't letting the logo go up. It doesn't even want to let us say that because we may be, I don't know, depending upon how we see what pairs with it. I don't know. Maybe we might be disparaging a candy maker here by the end of the show. I might. After my episode I went through last night, I think I might have had sugar, kind of not the diabetes, but just like a sugar heart attack after figuring this out. But thank you everyone for being in the chat. Mike and Mitch, thank you. How are your candy reserves at the moment?
Not bad.
Not bad.
I went to the grocery store this afternoon to get a couple things, and stuff was already on clearance, and so I picked up a few things for the stash.
I went out on Friday trying to pick up things ahead of time, and I went to 3 grocery stores just to find Peeps. Like, I don't know what's going on in Kentucky, but it's...
Who runs out of Peeps?
I don't know. I didn't think they actually got sold. I thought it was like candy corn, where it's just like, yes, we get it, and then it stays there, and then the next year we bring it back out and dust it off. But no, like, they were out of Peeps.
Yeah, I went to Aldi. It was either Friday or Saturday, and Aldi still had the Reese's eggs, and Aldi has Reese's eggs for like $1.50 cheaper per 6-pack than everybody else. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, I'm gonna go and get some more, and so I broke those out as part of dessert last night for Easter dinner, and that package disappeared. I didn't get a single one of them, but that was actually fine, and I was right thinking I stuck them in the freezer beforehand in the deep freeze. So when I put them out there, they were, frozen Reese's are the shit. Oh yeah.
That is the way.
Did you do frozen for the show this evening? Or
I did not. And there's a couple reasons which I'll bring that up later.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair. Before we go any further, if I give you control, Mike, do you want to talk about our association with our friends at the Bar Cart Co-op?
Our association, our conglomerate. The Bar Cart conglomerate. Sorry, I'm an idiot. So the Bar Cart Co-op is a collection of friends who create content for whiskey and other distilled spirits public. The oldest of the shows on there, Distillers Talk, which is a fantastic nerd deep dive into the world of distilling as conversation. I'll say that because there's another show here which is another nerd deep dive, fantastic nerd discussion which takes place Thursday, Friday, Saturdays when the show comes out, depending on when they hit it. Fantastic discussions with people that are distillery adjacent and distillery workers. There's also Super Nerd, one piece at a Time Distilling Institute, which comes out when it feels like it, but it's answering a lot of viewer questions from all over the world, testing methodology, equipment, and mash bills, and answering all of your questions. It's really, really fun. Even if you're never going to distill, you find out a lot of really cool information on there. Classiest, sexiest duo alive on on the YouTube. The Bourbon Turntable, which brings the love of whiskey and the love of music, comes to you live, or not live, but it comes out on Wednesdays on all of your streaming services, Spotify, Apple, and the YouTube. And it is the love of whiskey, love of music, many fantastic interviews, many fantastic 2-part interviews that have taken place on there. Also, we have the One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute, which gets into the paranormal aspect, not just of distilling, but just of life in general, and also folklore. So if you want to find out some interesting information about the holiday that we just passed, Easter, really cool information, very well thought out, and it's fun. I encourage you to check out. If you have Ghost, you have everything. They are just finished season 2. Season 3, I think, will start coming out in May, and that so far has just been released on Spotify.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Thank you very much, Mike. Take a deep breath.
That's a lot to take in.
It was, but I love it. It was well done. But we're back to Easter candy and whiskey pairings to go with
Easter candy? What was that? I'm sorry, sir. I'm not here for that part.
Well, whatever. We're drinking booze and candy. I don't know.
Sorry. I heard Keister, not Easter. My bad.
Oh, that's
Keister candy.
I was really lost for a second there. I was like, what?
Okay, in the chat, raise your hand if you showed up for Keister candy.
I have some Keister
I'm not getting kicked off of YouTube for that. I'm not. Sorry. Reverse diabetes, right?
Oh, that's funny.
What candy should we start with? I'm not going to put any adjectives before it or no.
I don't know, Mitch. Why don't you start us off
with
pick a candy, pick a candy, and then
pick a candy.
Pick the candy we're going to talk about.
So let's start with Peeps because it's the non-chocolate candy, right?
Okay.
So the last time I ate a Peep was well over a decade ago, so I don't remember what they taste like. I went traditional yellow when I got mine.
Okay. Question:
wrapper.
Does the color matter?
I don't think so, but I
don't
like
know.
to believe it does. You know, I'd like to believe that this is like a blue raspberry, but I'm going to tell you in a second. It's probably just straight sugar.
I had the best luck Peep jousting with the yellow Peeps, so I do in particularly gravitate towards those. But I had to go to 3 grocery stores to get Peeps. I went to Walmart, Aldi, and then ended up at Kroger trying to get Peeps. So I'm mildly upset about how many grocery stores don't sell Peeps these days.
I heard there wasn't a candy shortage. They just didn't send out pre-orders, as what I heard from one of the stores. And it came out. I guess before we go further, bunnies or chicks, if you had a preference in the Peep before we move forward.
So I only use Peeps for Peep jousting, so it's only chicks.
Can you explain
chicks,
Peep
man.
jousting again?
Yes. Sorry. So Peep jousting is where you take a peep.
Hold on here. Okay, begin.
This requires the big screen.
Okay, so I wish I had a toothpick down here. But effectively, you take your Peep and you stick a toothpick in the front of it. And then your opponent sticks a toothpick in the front of theirs. Put it on a paper plate, not too far apart, a couple inches, and you put them in the microwave. And they start to blow up in the microwave. And the first one to poke the other Peep wins.
Question.
Thank you.
Do you mark the plate? Because as it spins around on the rotisserie, they do change position. So do you mark the plate so you know for sure that one was yours?
No. So plates, spin very slowly and they blow up rather quickly. So if you're, too ADD that like 8 seconds is a bit too much for you, you just don't Peep joust.
So okay, so I guess what is the mean time for Peeps to blow up?
8 seconds ish.
Okay.
It's under 10, a 10 and under.
So like bull riding.
Yeah. So
okay,
it's one of those things. You everybody gets their little thing, and you just yeah, what? Right, yeah, okay, your turn, and you throw it away because peeps are terrible, right?
Okay, so would there be any reason to put multiple peeps on a plate, kind of like a prison riot?
Oh man, you could make like a peep hedgehog and like see what gets poked first. Yeah, all right.
Just wait. I think I found a use for the rabbit, or Shannon did. Put the rabbit on top of the chick and time it. Everyone wagers on how long before the bunny falls off the chick.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, I can see that.
I have to say, so a few years ago now, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, my sister had suggested that we do a family diorama competition, Peeps diorama, and so the first year we had no theme, and so me being me, I had to come up with something that was mildly disgusting, and I think I did. Mine was the nude beach. And then after that, the other years there was a theme, and I won last year with mine because it was the category was 70s, and I did a diorama of the What's Happening TV show. And so I became the judge this year because of winning. And so we did our competition yesterday, and it's all peeps are out, and it's bunnies, chicks, whatever's a peep, you put it on there. All I know is the sugar gets everywhere. It's worse than glitter. They're gross. They're tasteless. But they are fun for making dioramas with.
Next year, there may be a competition where people win samples. I think you should expand that, Mike. I think can we bring that on the show?
We could do that. And my sister did let everyone know that she's been making a booklet of all the winners. So everyone has their own page. They're on there. And Kevin's asking, are there photos of these dioramas? Yes, there are. And I did my diorama this year, even though I could not be judged because I was the judge. My diorama, and the theme was, my nephew chose it. It was TV shows of your childhood. And although this was not a show necessarily of my childhood, I chose Full House because I hated that show. And so I did a diorama and had the living room with the staircase, etc. And I painted everything black, and had all the peeps on the couch, and one on the staircase, and then one next to the couch. The one next to the couch was Aunt Becky because she knows what she did wrong. The one on the staircase was little Michelle, and everything was black because Michelle, aka I think it was Mary Kate Olsen, was present during the death of Heath Ledger, but has not come forward and won't, because she won't do it unless she has immunity. So behind the couch was actually a dead bunny, aka Heath Ledger. So my niece won the competition. With hers was the Magic School Bus. And it was a specific episode where the school bus went through someone's body, through the anus. and she had done the whole surrounding thing and everything else. So clearly she won. I mean, as I told her, she had me at anus. So
it's like the slightly worse version of "You Had Me at Hello."
I know. For some reason, it doesn't work as a pickup line. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but if it does, oh my God, what ride are you in for?
Magic.
Okay.
Oh,
so did you guys pre-taste any and have anything already in mind for what you would pair with this peep? Are you coming up on the fly? Because I have ideas.
I did, and yes, I had, and there were problems with that. I have problems with peeps. Peeps, I think, are gross anyway. I love marshmallows.
Wait a second here. Wait a second. I think I see where this is going.
Oh my God. Oh.
Okay, go ahead. I think I see where this is going.
I like marshmallows because who doesn't like marshmallows? And hey, I like sugar. I mean, come on. I like sugar. the combination or how that they put those two together does not work. Pairing peeps with something, it is like if you just said pair whiskey with a marshmallow, that would be one thing. You said pair whiskey with sugar, that's another thing. But whatever they're doing to the sugar as it pertains to peeps, they're ruining the sugar and they're ruining the marshmallow. But yes, I did come up with pairing with it. But I think peeps is one of those examples of the blend is the sum of its parts suck.
That's pretty good right there.
Well,
that's because Dave's a peeper.
Stories about that. But no, it's I'd have to agree with you. It's something that like they both lose the flavor, even though it's there. Like I know sugar, I don't know. It seems weird, and like you're chewing the marshmallow, and I don't know.
But can you really chew the marshmallow? It's not.
It's more like it's swishing around because it
like a real marshmallow you can chew. A Peeps marshmallow you can't. And here's the demonstration.
I think I'm getting a chew.
Well, that's a Wisconsin peep.
No, but I get what you mean. It seems empty even after you had it.
Yes.
Kind of starts with an aftertaste.
That is a very, very good observation. I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
And it goes downhill from there.
Yeah. Well, I have 6 more. I can give it a whirl. We can find that.
Go.
I will say, I have not tried out any peep pairings because that would have required me to try more peeps. So I am coming into this blind. Okay. I was just like, all right, what do I think would go well with marshmallow? Okay,
what's sitting on the tape? What are you reading here?
but can you dry age a peep?
I don't. What happens if you cut off the edge then?
Peep jerky.
Peep jerky. It's like a weird laugh.
Isn't peep jerky just fluff?
Marshmallow
thin fluff.
I'm pretty sure they do. I'm not sure if Dave's right, but I'm not.
John Dave Cougar. That actually sounds interesting.
You know what is better than a peep deep fried is a Twinkie deep fried. It sounds.
I haven't
weird.
Tried that.
There's a place called Frank's Diner in Kenosha. It's just a little boxcar place that had an expansion, but they did a chocolate covered Twinkie that's deep fried and it is fucking amazing.
I tried deep fried butter at the Iowa State Fair several years ago.
Sick from this peep.
My sister got it and I tried a bite of it. One bite was interesting and good, but beyond that, no.
So here in Kentucky, our bars are open till 4 a.m. So we have a pizza place called Spinelli's that's open till 6 a.m. to help with that. And their dessert is deep fried Oreos. Like if you go there and you're like, I like dessert, they're like, all right, 4 or 6. And you get deep fried Oreos.
Can't argue that they're warmer than. I think that I don't like always the crispness of an Oreo. I don't know. I like a softer cookie.
Okay, the sidebar. Have you had, because my daughter will make these instead of s'mores, s'moreos.
No.
Nope. You break the Oreo apart and you just put a piece of Hershey's chocolate in there in the middle of it with a marshmallow.
I'm not against trying things.
Yeah. One of those is good. 2, not a good idea.
Okay. What whiskeys did you think we're going to go with this, Mitch? Because we got a couple more, and we got to get through a couple of these here.
So I chose.
Otherwise, we'd be drinking all night. Because I
chose 2, a Scotch and a rye because I'm weird.
Good.
So one of them is Compass Box Asila, and the other is High Spire. So Compass Box of Sila to me tastes like vanilla creams, and I was gonna pair it with simultaneously the Peeps and the Cadbury creams. But I may have messed up on the creams, so slight revision there.
They're Cadbury eggs. That works.
There ain't no cream though.
Yeah, well, that's all right. My wife, when she went out and was gracious enough to pick some up, she knew I do not like the original Cadbury eggs. I have a strong disdain for them. Actually, I don't. Ugh. So she got me.
Why is that? Is it the taste or the texture?
It's the actual taste for me.
Okay.
The texture I get is probably not as cohesive for some people as they would like, because you're expecting a little more of like a fluff or a thick cream or more like a fudge-like substance, and you get this real runny. From what I remember, runny. It's here. I'll try it, but it was the flavor from the original, and it wasn't. And if you're gonna mix stuff together, that wasn't what I was gonna go with. So she got me one of those and 2 of the caramel, which obviously I will lean into a little bit more, but I'll kind of go off of 2 different ones of that because I know the original is a completely different flavor, and I already had something based off of that. I'll see if I can get it to work for both though. So hold on here. I'll pause this because we had a discussion about who does this and crinkles wrappers as you're opening it. So I'm gonna.
But sidebar, Tim Swait's right. The Reese's peanut butter cup s'mores, that's the way to do it right there.
I'm gonna have to try that.
That's instead of Hershey's Reese's, that's 100% the way.
Ooh, I don't think
s'mores are too. I think that they're too much work for the payoff. A normal s'more.
So I have terrible stomach issues, and I am probably going to regret everything about tonight, possibly during tonight. So I can't do s'mores because there's so much sugar in them that I get like half of the way through one, and I'm like, oh my God, I might die. So today is going to be interesting, but I eat like half a s'more twice a year. Like that's kind of my limit.
Okay.
But what are y'all pairing with Peeps?
Pat, you go first.
All right. Oh, I was trying to make something work with the. Oof, that didn't work. The Cadbury egg, that did not work. That went off. All right, the Peeps I had as a standard one for most people, if you could get it. I went with an Eagle Rare. Though I like Kevin's answer of higher proof where it drowns out the actual whatever is left of the peepness with the high proofness.
Get down with the peepness.
So hold on here. And to prove that, I'm going to go the other route that I went with. This was high proof iron root huckleberry on the other end of things. And just for proof, that's the way I went with my craft version on this.
Okay.
It's cool because such high proof alcohol does start to dissolve the peep on its own. Like the marshmallow starts to like fade away on the inside and come apart.
Do we need to drop the Peeps into our drink?
Maybe. That's pretty cool, actually. I think you could feel the whole thing like an extra sugar rush coming apart in my mouth as it like dissolved from the alcohol. But all I could taste was the huckleberry. That was weird. That's like one of those deconstructed drinks you'd see on Parks and Rec when they go to that weird bar. Like Chisel and Aromasphere.
Oh God, what was the name of that bar?
I'm not gonna remember that right now.
Was it the Snake Pit or something like that?
No, that's the one that Tommy owned on his own. Was the Snake Pit Lounge.
Okay.
I think. But actually, kudos to Kevin on this. I think the high proof whiskey, dissolving it adds like a whole nother feature to actually doing it, to actually chewing it and coming apart compared to just before and after. It's like a mini science experiment, like a little bit of pop rocks going on in your mouth. I'm gonna do it again. Fuck it.
So I will say, Peeps and Asila, interesting, because it pulls all the vanilla out of Asila, and to me, Asila is vanilla cream. So once you pull the vanilla out, it starts bringing out the other flavors. So it's a lot more like pear and melon than regular. Not sure I like it more, but
That's
definitely
interesting.
a thing.
That makes the Peep a million times better. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Is that really an improvement, though?
Well,
my problem with
just saying
people,
something about the whiskey, but
sugar. I can't get past the sugar on it because it's almost like putting a sugar cube on your tongue 1st and then having something else. And I found the sugar overwhelming. The best and worst part of this whole experiment was the homework. Because I mean, you can't do it in one sitting, well, you could, but you're an idiot. But I tried doing different scotches, and then actually true to my whiskey den, I was trying to come up with more craft whiskey pairings for my stuff for Halloween candy. I did try scotch, and then I tried peated craft whiskey. I tried ASW Tire Fire cast strength. It did. You know what? It didn't work like I thought it was going to work. McCarthy's, it didn't work like I thought it was going to work. Chattanooga Isla cask, again, didn't work like I thought it was going to work. But with Peeps was, for me, the hardest to pair because I could not get over the initial sugar. It took so long for the sugar to go away to get to the marshmallow that it really didn't do anything for me. I was thinking of whiskeys that, have that marshmallow note or would complement, with it, and things that went on there. And I'll say for me, Peeps pairing for the most part went flat compared to the other two. So I don't have a standout for Peeps, but when we get to the other ones, I'll talk more about what.
Can you throw a bone out? What was one you had? I mean, out of the ones you had, to name something that was okay.
One of them that I had that was okay was Lee Sinclair.
What was the proof on it?
The normal Lee Sinclair 100 proof.
Oh, okay. I was kind of edging them. Like, was it aftermarket one where the proof smoked up?
And I thought, because I made a list ahead of time, and I thought, oh, come on, Maddie's my girl. Yeah. Maddie's got to do it. No, Maddie with a Peep, not so much. But Lee, and I think the difference was the 4 grain, but the oat, that in particular, I think for me made things work better with the Peep. Now, again, Peep, the other two were like right here for me. Peep was like way out here. and I got 2 Peeps left here. I had one just a few minutes ago. I'm not finishing these. It's not my jam. I'll eat a marshmallow.
Okay, so standout winner.
Yeah.
Is this High Spire? I'm gonna do this, so hopefully the glare does not get it too badly. So this is a super young rye whiskey. God, it's the glare. Oh my gosh. I'm
sorry. Pull her back a little bit.
It's like a ginger's legs.
my freaking forehead, I tell you that. That's going up into my... Yeah, whatever. All right, so this is this was made out in Crestwood by a company that a buddy works at now. But it is super young rye whiskey finished in wine casks. And it's not my thing, I think, is the best way to put that. if you eat the peep and drink it at the same time, pretty disgusting. Not gonna lie. If you could imagine licorice marshmallow with an aggressive amount of dill and alcohol, that would be pretty close. But afterwards, after that clears out, your second sip is this lovely, delicate, like super sweet, light caramel, hints of vanilla, no fruit, no licorice, just like a little wisp of sweet that fades into nothing. And it's like, oh, that's how you do it right there. Because the nose on this is still kind of aggressively dill and licorice and not a great combination.
All right, well, fair enough. I think we're good with peeps. We'll see how many I can jam in my mouth at the end of the episode. There's 6.
Patreon bonus material.
I'm not wearing a kilt. I'm wearing pajamas. I'm going to be 100% honest. I plan on going straight to bed after this. So
it's just a blanket, people. He's lying about it. It's like a news desk. You got brought below the line. All right. So we were doing the Cadbury egg. Let's save the peanut butter one for the end because I think that's going to be.
I think that's everybody's favorite.
That is everyone's favorite. So we'll let that go. But what was it? Paul had something here about the actual inside of the Cadbury egg. So it is meant to break down into like this creamy leftover over time. That is interesting. I'm still going to say it's not my favorite flavor.
I'm no stranger to a Cadbury egg, clearly. My problem with Cadbury eggs are really the main thing is it's the inconsistency, because some Cadbury eggs are creamy and some are dry. And I used to think, oh, it's because there's like a hole in the side of the chocolate and the air got to it, et cetera, et cetera. That's not the case. Through my extensive research throughout my years of being a big boy, I have figured out that it's just a thing. And sometimes a Cadbury creamy center is a creamy center, and sometimes it is rough textured, shall we say. So that's now I do really like me some Cadbury eggs, even though they've made them smaller throughout the years.
Oh, yes.
And by ratio, the mini eggs, ratio to cream, way better than a normal size egg. It's like a really good ratio of chocolate to sugary cream. I will say that.
All right, I'm gonna know the next egg. I got a few eggs here, so
I got the mini eggs. So once again, saw these at Walmart, the first place I went, and was like, all right, sweet, I'll grab these. Didn't see Cadbury eggs anywhere else I went. Aldi and Kroger did not have them.
Dry.
Oh, I can't even dip mine over. It'll come rolling out.
Look.
Hold on here. No, I'm not going to do that.
So these are just bad M&Ms.
Bad M&Ms?
There's no cream. It's just an awkwardly thick shell and like not great chocolate.
And not a lot of chocolate.
Not great chocolate. I mean, there's enough chocolate in there, but I'm not really sure how much more of it I want to eat.
Mitch got gypped.
That's my fault.
Thanks a lot, Cadbury. Well, they could have had that fucking rabbit making eggs a long time in advance. You know, someone could have been poking that dude. They always let him go to the last second. You gotta get him going like 6 months in advance. All right, here, I'm gonna have a little sip of this. Okay, but so Mitch is judging by basic M&M Cadburys. But I think the candy shell is interesting that's thicker.
It's thicker and flavored, and it's not great. Like it's not, like to me, M&M, the candy shell is not flavored at all. This is. I don't know what the flavor is.
Because Cadbury, I mean, as a chocolate connoisseur, I think Cadbury makes a pretty good chocolate. Let me clarify that. As an American, and we have Hershey's.
Honestly, I might go Hershey's with this.
Really?
Like, there's just something in there that ain't doing it for me. But whatever.
Okay. Sorry, it took me a second there. With the normal Cadbury, I was doing a little rotation. I had the Northern Waters double barrel, the Spring Fever, but I was bringing in and out Rua and Courage and Conviction, trying to get something else out of it and more berry notes and flavors to mix with it. Didn't like it. Double barrel was actually, I like the more wood, the more deeper, rich notes, and not the fruity notes with the original cream egg. Now, admittedly, it's not my favorite. I can still taste it, and I gotta try to rinse it out somehow. But yeah, no, definitely that lighter, easily consistency, richer version of what I just put stuff. I thought the fruity flavors would go good with it. Actually, it might kind of pull something out of it, but nope, creaminess kind of leveled out with that. So, I go with one that might have a little bit more, and that was not overly powerful overall flavor wise, but it's just very solid and more brown sugar notes and stuff, or at least after mixing it with Cadbury egg. But that's where I'm going with that one, actually.
You gave me a thought. I will be right back. I have to get a bottle.
I hope so. You would think that's all his bottles, folks, but there are extensive shelves to the left. There's boxes in this room.
Are you familiar with the pawn
upstairs.
shop scene in Pulp Fiction? Because that's Mitch's basement.
Pretty close.
Yeah. So yeah, see, you did Eagle Rare and Northern Waters.
No, I did Eagle Rare on the first one on a peep. It was just kind of basic.
Okay.
But then looking back after what Kevin said, I think, like he said, like for a mass appeal, I might go back to a Booker's, because when I had it with the Iron Root at high proof, I think that was, for me, it made the peep the most fun when it started breaking apart, and it kind of like almost became a state fair thing, cotton candy, weird, a little more excitement that way. So,
okay,
I think I'm going to change my statement, and I'd go Booker's, and then I went Iron Root for my craft version for peeps. The original Cadbury egg, I'm going Northern Waters, because that just didn't mix well with the fruits like I was getting, and I had a rye here, and the dill came out really fucking sharp with it. So no, and that could be me mixing other boozes together, we'll drink after drink, but no, that was not the way to go. I think just solid, deep, rich notes and some decent barrel notes, I think, will help the original Cadbury cream egg. I need some real water. Mitch, what are your thoughts on it? Or Mike, sorry.
Yeah,
Mitch,
Mike,
what did you go get?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, you'd think all my bottles are behind me, but they're not. So I got Outrage from Corsair.
Oh, okay.
So I bought this because I was like, oat whiskey, awesome. But the thing is, this oat whiskey is super heavily made with coffee malt. So it's 385 pounds of oats, 200 pounds of regular 6-row malted barley, and then 165 pounds of coffee malt. So when I drink it, I get like a really intense, like chocolate covered coffee bean. And I wasn't gonna. I thought about pairing it with Cadbury cream, so I was like, "Wow, that'll walk all over the cream." But since all I'm getting is like wonky chocolate, I was like, "All right, well, I got wonky chocolate and wonky chocolate covered coffee bean whiskey. Like, let's see what that does." Goes really well together. Really tamps down the chocolate, brings down the bitterness from like the coffee flavor. Surprisingly good.
See, one thing that I thought about with mine was I wish that I still had some Deer Hammer, because Deer Hammer with their chocolate malt is so freaking good. And I thought, oh man, Deer Hammer with some of this stuff would just be the bomb. I got zero Deer Hammer that I could. I have the Deer Hammer hickory smoked corn. Doesn't translate to the chocolate malt. But mine here's my, I could not narrow it down to one. So mine that I had on there, and then as I went through this, and spoiler alert, some of this carries into the Reese's. I sensed a theme that was coming with me, because again, I was trying to do American craft, number one. I was also trying to do accessible, because I was going to do that Great Northern rye, and I thought that's not fair because that's a single barrel. And I've got Wood Hat Bloody Butcher Red, but again, not fair because that was a single barrel and a toffee bomb. So I did not think that was fair. But I went sticking. I had Lee Sinclair with it. Also had William Dalton Wheated with it. Also, Stumpy's Wheated with it. And then I got into our good friends Glenn's Creek with OCD number 5 and the Hamilton Smoke. Then I was like, okay, now what is it? What can I narrow it down about these? And the thing is, I could not narrow it down with them. Now, Glenn's Creek stuff has this buttery note that I really, really like. And I thought, oh yeah, that butter with the chocolate and the cream and everything, it's really good. And the Spirits of French Lick, fat kid friend of the show, Alan Bishop, he understands, where that stuff's coming from. And I thought, okay, he's all about those notes. But then the Stumpies, I'm like, okay, if you've ever seen Adam Stump, he's a handsome son of a bitch. And he's not a fat kid by any means, but the guy's a farmer and he understands his food. But so there was like this food confectionery theme that was going across the whiskeys that I picked. And I honestly couldn't narrow it down too much with those, except with the Cadbury. The one that really got me was, by a nose, the Glens Creek Hamilton Smoke. Their smoked corn whiskey. And it's the smoke on it. There's a slight smoke to it, and it's just enough. It's not peated, because I did try on the side. I tried peated stuff with it. Didn't quite work, but that little bit of smoke with the Hamilton Smoke did help that over the edge with the sugar and the chocolate and everything else. But everything else, especially the two wheateds, the William Dalton and the Stumpies, the wheated with this, I thought paired really well.
Sorry, I'm going back and trying everything with these Cadbury eggs that I've had, and it does weird things, man. It does real weird things.
That's what we're going to bring out. Well, I went back to the caramel Cadbury egg, which, by the way, is fantastic. It's just solid caramel on the inside. And then I went back and was looking at Rise, a couple other things. I thought that it was going to end up being a Scotch that I went with, like a smoked one, and just bringing that heavy caramel in. But right now, I'm going to be honest. Where was it here? My Courage and Conviction I was doing from before on the other one. Between that and the Rua is where I'm getting with the caramel. I'm actually liking the caramel coming in on top of the fruits that are there. It's like caramel, just caramel dipping some fruit into it. And I wasn't expecting that with what it is, but these two are fighting it out. So I'll have an answer in a minute. Because one, I have to figure out which one's just got a little bit of a sharper edge on the entry.
So I tried the mini eggs with the Asila, the High Spire, Glenmorangie Signet, and the Outrage. And Outrage by far the best because it finally lets you taste like the oat whiskey instead of chocolate covered coffee beans. And I bought it because I wanted to taste oat whiskey. So this is to me like, oh, I got exactly what I wanted out of that.
I feel that way about. I mentioned it about the Lee Sinclair because when I was trying different stuff, and I thought Maddie, because I open a bottle of Maddie disappears. Maddie goes with everything. I love Maddie, and I thought certainly this would work, but no. And I think the difference was the clearly the mash bill of Lee, but also I really think that oat makes a difference in pairing with sweets and chocolate.
Mm-hmm. I agree, but it's the Rua that is with the caramel Cadbury egg. The Rua really, because I was going to say I like the Courage and Conviction. That's one had a little sharp edge between the combination of things on the entry. Rua does not. It just adds that next. What is it? The apple cinnamon bear claw with frosting on top
and chocolate
is our standard. Now there's a titch of chocolate, but more caramel and chocolate drizzle across the top of the apple cinnamon bear claw as well. It's fucking awesome. Sorry, I was. If you're going into Voodoo Donut and you saw something like this, I'll take 4. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So the caramel.
If you're watching people talking about Easter candy and whiskey, you can't be offended by any of that.
I agree.
What did I say?
Huh? No, I'm just in general.
I just thought I said something in my explanation. Like, wait, what did I do? But no, that's where I'd go with the caramel one, definitely as their standard rule on that one. That's pretty fucking awesome.
So I wish I had Rua again that I could try Rua with it, but oh well.
We'll have to talk to Ali. We haven't had Rua non-Brunhilde.
I know.
I was going to say, I think it's been 2 years at least that they've had the new one up. I forgot its name, and it was up this weekend. But we haven't had it off the new still, so maybe it would be worth having Ollie back on again.
Yeah, I think
He's
so.
a fun guy. If you're going to North Carolina, it's I'd definitely stop in Charlotte and see them because I would. They have some fun nights with bands and other stuff. They have a really nice outside venue for the distillery.
Yeah, and get on their mailing list too because they have some pretty good events down there too.
All right, so we're working to the grand. As far as I'm concerned, the granddaddy candy of Easter is the Reese's peanut butter egg.
Everything else is just an imitation.
Yeah, this is what everyone wants. You don't get it, you're upset. I'm gonna have a little nibble here myself right now.
Yeah.
I heard there's some people in Kentucky that have entire freezers full of these.
You just get call me out online.
I think this. Okay, malted milk eggs. That would have been another good one. And Chattanooga. I did try Chattanooga with stuff, and I have to say, I think malted milk eggs would have been the bomb.
That's a neat way to go about it. Quintessential, I could easily see that. That would have been another good one. I'm just out of that to taste test with.
I'm too old to do this. I just realized that 49 minutes in. Like, this is kicking my butt.
You don't need all your toes.
You're diabetes.
I'm really enjoying the. I almost have a whole egg gone. I have to like fucking hold on. Like I got to that, and I was like, "This is delicious."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't have the shakes, Mitch, you're not doing it right.
We're about to have the something else's.
All right, so getting to the Reese's peanut butter egg. Who wants to go first with what they thought was going to be a good pairing or what they have set up with this one?
I will start because I started off not going with craft whiskey, and I thought, okay, peated whiskey and peanut butter, it's got to be good. And honestly, the ASW Tire Fire cast strength was great because it didn't matter if I had the Reese's before or after, it was the same effect. It was the beautiful peated whiskey, and then it just went away, and then it was Reese's peanut butter, whether I did it before or after. And I thought that was a great fight between the two of them. But it wasn't like a pairing as I saw it as a pairing. And then, and I had, which again, the best part of this whole process was the homework because, and there were things that I would have normally picked, like, with the nutty note, I was really thinking, Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, which really, really good. But I thought I'm going to go with, American craft, but the wheat whiskeys, the Dalton and the Stumpies went really well with the peanut butter, very well with the peanut butter. But Glens Creek OCD number 5 with the buttery note, the higher proof and the buttery note with the Reese's. I mean, it was hats off to all the ones that narrowed it down. But again, I ended up coming down to basically a group that's like, you're tickling all my tickly spots. And then I'm adding you to these Easter candies, and I was getting tickled all over, and it was great. I had moments, I had private moments, but that little buttery note on the Glens Creek OCD number 5 with the Reese's was like, oh, I'm really digging this. It was great. So.
Mitch, what did you think with your Reese's peanut butter cup? Where were you headed with things?
So I did Baker's 7 from Jim Beam, because to me, Baker's 7 is aggressively peanut brittle, and I don't like peanut brittle, but I love Reese's eggs. So I wanted to see what would happen if I competed if the Reese's peanut butter competed with peanut brittle. And it wins, and it makes the whiskey better, which is awesome. Because to me, Baker's finishes peanut brittle, and I do not like when it finishes peanut brittle. Reese's eggs combined with that makes it finishes Reese's peanut butter instead of peanut brittle. So a lot of the whiskey stays the same, but at the end, finishing on that note that I'm just not a fan of, it's like, oh, this is the best peanut note you can get.
That's awesome. You actually did a good tailoring to it.
Would you guys agree that, because frozen Reese's, I think everybody agrees frozen Reese's are better than normal Reese's, period. Frozen Reese's eggs are well above everything else. But it's similar to if you've tried a whiskey that you really like and you put the whiskey in the freezer and how it changes, the cold changes that whiskey a little bit with the flavor.
Yeah.
The Reese's eggs are the whiskey of candy. And how it does that when you freeze it and what it does to change that, where it's just like you bite it and then it's just like, oh, flavor coming at you.
Are you saying just lack of punch? Because a lot of times you'll take out some of the spike in alcohol from chilling it, and people will think
Yeah.
it's smoother from being on the inside.
Because you get the cold and it's like, oh, I get this is cold. It's written, and then you're like, it warms up, and then the proof and everything comes out. Like Reese's egg, it's like
slushy, like a whiskey slushy. You know, you don't
Oh,
always have
man.
flavor, but I can't. That's the homework, people. We need a My Whiskey Den like whiskey slush, some type of like summery drink. That would be. Throw the ice in there and just
you rim the glass with a Reese's.
I mean, that sounds good. But also, like here in Kentucky, like bourbon slushies are a very big thing. Like,
oh really?
Like,
well,
a lot of restaurants have, not just bars. They'll be like, "Oh, hey, you want some barbecue? You want a bourbon slushie with that?" And you're like, "Well, yeah, but why do you have bourbon slushies?" Like,
wait, do they use the tequila machines that just have this thing rotating on the inside? Do they go through that
those
many
are called
slushies?
slushy machines, man. I'm not sure
Tequila
what Wisconsin's doing at their 7-Elevens, but yeah,
Hey,
yeah, they have like those constantly going. Yeah,
You know, like at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, the adult one, you know.
yeah. They basically, so a lot of places have like two, right? And they'll have like a bourbon slushy and then their other slushy, which will be like wine or margarita or whatever.
All right, well, fair enough.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that when y'all come down, you should hang out with me and I'll show you these new and interesting things. I'm saying that you missed out when you did come down and you were like, "Hey, Mitch, we're down here. We'd love to hang out, but we don't like you, so we're not." So, you know, just
That's
To be fair, that's what Pat thinks.
well. I'm going to be fair. If you come to a birthday party in Wisconsin in summer, it's kind of like a family reunion event style thing. It's not really a birthday party. It expands. So yeah, sometimes there is a little drinking that goes on.
You go door to door.
Peanut butter for me. Before we get off it, I went as far as craft. I went with the standard Iconoclast. From Spirits of French Lick. It wasn't I had the Iconoclast. I liked it better, but I didn't think that was fair because no one was going to be able to get that. Just because it had a little more of the creme brulee vanilla ice cream note in it. And then you just added that peanut butter in the middle of that as well, too. It's just kind of like dropping that in. What goes wrong when you're adding that? If you're like a kid making a sundae, basically, you're like, what? Let's add this too. And you're like, oh, it's going to go well. But
that's fair.
Yeah. As far as a standard whiskey or one that's pretty standard for most people, I actually went with Wild Turkey 101. It just was a neat little. The rye in that it's not as punchy for me as some other things. It's either that or over time it has calmed down. I don't know which is which. I mean, from when I was in college, I remember Wild Turkey and I not getting along, but. You know, maybe that was how many and some other issues of the evening, but over time it's lightened up and it's not as aggressive. That's what I had here. Otherwise, I might have leaned into maybe a Russell's Reserve. If you don't have a Wild Turkey 101, I probably would have gone to that, but that's the only one I had to taste with here. So, and now my stomach is this sugary swish.
And with the Reese's, one of my first ones that I thought of was Old Forester 1920 to have with it, which I am a big fan of. But I was trying. I'm gonna try to do the craft whiskey thing. Now I realize that Old Forester is a large craft whiskey distiller, but
well,
you know.
No. For me, they hit that echelon above it, which kind of Wilderness Trail has hit as well too. But I still consider them. I consider Wilderness Trail more innovative, or more in the craft department of creation than Old Forester. Just with the attention to detail, and yeast and other things, even though they're scaled up, to me it feels more artisan or intensive, if you're looking at it that way. More hands-on attention to detail.
I had Wilderness Trail was one of my choices.
Like he's got something to say. I like it.
But I had the Wilderness Trail Bourbon on the Banks pick, which is chocolatey. And I thought, oh, this is going to be great. But then, like, you can't get it. So it took away. It's like I was trying to do accessible and I was trying to do craft.
I did the polar opposite of that. I think 3 of the whiskeys I paired are discontinued.
Yeah, which is fair. I was trying to help myself out, because otherwise it'd be like, well, the homework was great, but figuring out the pairing, damages your liver, your kidneys, and your self-esteem. So, I had to draw the line somewhere.
Okay, but there's a little bit as you're eating where your self-esteem feels pretty good. Like, right?
Yeah.
Right before
like right now, or the mixture of booze and candy.
Yeah. Then you get like 10 in and you're like, I'm a piece of shit.
This never this much. I got caramel on my pants.
So yeah, I ate all but the head of my peep. 1 Reese egg and like 6 of the Cadbury.
Suck the head.
Come on.
My body is killing me right now. It is just like, hey,
do it, Mitch.
I bet you. How much do you want to bet that?
Pretend it's a crawdad.
How many peeps do you have left?
How many what?
How many peeps do you have left? Think of all the hard work you went to get them, but you don't want to waste them.
Yes, I do. I want to joust with them.
Okay, well that's fair. I have to put my bunnies back now. I want to give them swords. Like the cocktail sword.
Oh yeah,
probably
cocktail
melt.
swords.
Probably melt.
I want to see how many Pat can stuff in his mouth. I think everybody wants to see how many Pat can stick in his mouth. 1. Hold on.
There's 2.
1.5. Okay, we're at 2. Hello.
Hold on. I'm trying to make it here so we can. Here we go. There we go. 2. 2. Keep going. No chewing. No chewing.
No dissolving with high proof alcohol either.
3. Nope. There you go. You gotta stay in frame.
2.5.
Keep going, Pat.
No.
Show us the Wisconsin stuff.
Not that stuff.
Took a lot of wherewithal to get to that point to flip the screen back. Peeps are bigger than you think, I guess. Holy shit.
I think that's in their marketing campaign.
It's in my marketing campaign.
Peeps, we're bigger than you think.
My God.
Does water dissolve a peep in your mouth? I can imagine it dissolves sugar, but not the marshmallow.
If I could have drank more booze right now, I would have gone right back for the iron root to help dissolve part of it. It doesn't. The marshmallow gets. When you're talking about the difference, a marshmallow you can like cram. Like a peep doesn't have much squish left.
They're not natural.
What about neon yellow says natural? or liquid
And that's
ivy blue.
feathers of a
Mine are
feathers of a
neon
chick.
green. And they're going in the trash after this.
Ugh. Peeps are growers. Yeah, kind of.
Especially
But
when you
yeah.
just, I'm telling y'all, peep jousting. It is the only way to truly enjoy a peep.
You know what? I'm gonna find some and we'll record a peep jousting for the show. We'll put it out as a reel. We'll have-
Okay, so what I'm wondering though, is there a difference?
Mike's like,
in
wait,
peep-
can we wager? Can we?
Well, no, but is there? Well, ooh, that would be a really good.
we
idea,
get some money going every week.
But to do it for science, peep jousting in a microwave versus in a convection oven to see what happens.
It would work in the convection.
You think the rotating has an issue?
No, just the difference between radioactive
expansion.
waves and radioactive magnetic waves and hot air.
Well, I guess it'd be interesting. Maybe get like the hot. But they're still gonna blow. You would think they would still blow up anyways. Like expand. They would just get the hard, crispy crust.
Microwaves just do funny things to things.
See your He-Man action figure start to melt down, like the Raiders of the Lost Ark guy at the end.
Your Stretch Armstrong.
They had a hole in it, anyways.
Yeah, need to pick up a microwave from a garage sale and try it out. See what works.
It doesn't have to be a garage sale microwave. It can be the one above your stove. That's what I use.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're going to end up doing with it.
I mean, you're not trying to blow these
What are you
peeps up.
doing with
You're
your
just
peeps
jousting.
afterwards?
Hypothetically, if you had a cell phone under contract that had problems that they would not replace or fix for whatever reason, and hypothetically, if it got put in a microwave for 10 seconds, it would be disabled enough that it would have to be replaced, but because it would be 100% non-functional. This is all hypothetical.
Hypothetically, do you wrap it in foil when you do it, or just would you hypothetically just set it in there with some rice?
Nope. Just raw dog it,
Oh my God.
but
Ugh.
it works.
All right. Well, that peep expedition left me with a weird taste in my mouth now. I don't know if I can get it out.
Yeah, I got the jitters.
It's
I'm
like
not
dirty
lying.
wax. Gross.
The peep sugar it's off-putting for me.
Onto the Tums. Ugh.
It's not good sugar and it's not good marshmallow.
Well, yeah, use oven liners and foil. I mean, that's easy. Now Gavin's going to get into this. We'll have some by the next show, which we'll have Edelbrand on. At some point, we'll be discussing.
we're going
jousting.
from this to really nice, classy people.
If they haven't watched the show, that's on them.
Yeah, I'm sure Lynn's going, oh my God, what did we decide to do? No, they're
We clean up well. But I think even they would be intrigued into this peep jousting thing. Like if they're
I don't understand how this isn't like a worldwide thing. Like
I think it's
I have
gonna
been doing
catch
this since middle school. Like,
Really?
yes.
I've never done this.
I've never even heard of this before. This is a new thing. I'm gonna spread the word though. I think Mitch should get some credit. I like that. Well, I don't want it to become like this thing on I don't know. I'm excited. I don't know what
Mitch can be
TikTok
the host
just-
of peep jousting.
peep
Yeah.
jousting.
It'll be like a little clip show, like Tosh.0
Yeah.
or Talk Soup back in the day.
It'll probably
Yeah,
get really
just me.
intensive as to what you can use as a lance.
Really?
maybe the length of said lance and what it is composed of versus the peep's destruction.
Like an
I
old
don't know.
thermometer.
That would be the end breaks.
Yeah, yeah, peeps tournament.
Ooh.
That would be a lot of fun. Everybody, bring your peep. We got one of the industrial public school lunch hall microwaves.
Distill America. Peep jousting. Think about it.
Just walk
about
around with a portable generator and a microwave. And just
Makita
I'll
just made a portable microwave that you can power with their little batteries. Just show up, just be like, did I bring a case of whiskey or did I bring a Makita microwave and some peeps? We'll never know.
I think that we might be able to find a thing people could have their own peep. Like I said, I think maybe.
pick a peep.
Is there a security deposit at the house for Distill America? I don't know. You'd have to ask Mike.
I hope so.
I hope so. Maybe.
There's a hell of a cleaning fee. I know that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been on here for about an hour, and I don't know. I got to do one or two more things before we get off. But peep jousting, spread the word. Keep it in mind. There'll be something coming up.
Hashtag peep joust.
Hashtag peep jousting. Right up there with hashtag weaves for Eves. Peep jousting's one big.
There's a greater chance of peep jousting happening on the show than weaves for Eves.
Oh, by far.
I'm big and like I know where he works. Kidnapping is just a few years in federal.
Like how much is even concerned? That's not a big deal here in Kentucky. You should see what our senators get.
Like, realistically, you look at Kentucky and what people do, and you're like, you probably get away with
Is this the worst thing that's happened? No.
Not even today, right? Like,
Yeah, no kid, and yeah, that was one thing. Honestly, that was crazy hearing that going on today, and yeah, glad everybody that I've heard from is safe.
Totally
So.
fine and good.
I met someone who worked at the cooperage after I did, and I met him up at Watch Hill proper as a whiskey runner, and it turns out his mother was one of the folks who got shot, but she's pulling through. So it's crazy what a small world it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, but glad she's doing
Yeah,
doing
well.
Gonna focus on the silver lining there.
Sorry,
very
bring
much.
it back around a different way.
Because peep jousting exists.
All right, everyone. Like I was saying, thank you for stopping in for our little Easter candy adventure and what you should pair with it. And Mitch and Mike, thanks for going through it. And I need to get some more water or something. I'm starting to get that sugar swirl.
You're diabetes.
My toe hurts. I think I got the gout now all of a sudden.
The fact that I don't have like a gallon.
Just the little toes.
You need those.
Yeah.
No, they're not that. You're just a little tipsy. You lose that big one.
Yeah, Kevin, jelly beans. I think jelly beans would be a really good pairing. I think that's a whole nother show because that's a year-round thing.
Jelly beans? Well, then it gets kind of crazy.
Oh,
the
jelly belly jelly beans and whiskey.
Well, that's what I mean. The range for flavors there could be immense.
And then the Harry Potter version, the Birdie Bott's Every Flavor beans.
Well, I would
pairing those with whiskey.
At least it'd be pared down to at least to a section of flavors, because otherwise you can really get anything from Jelly Belly.
I'm just going to say that Earwax and Isla whiskey would probably go really well.
Yeah. Honestly, if we do, I hate jelly beans just with a passion. If we do that, I am getting like Octomore out or something like that, and I'm just gonna sit there and be like, "Wow, the Octomore really covers up the absolute loathing I have for this in particular product."
You know what?
That'll be my tasting note for all of them.
That'll be the episode where Mitch gets really drunk.
Just
whatever. He had a half a bottle of Octomore trying to cover up jelly beans.
There are 96 possible flavors of jelly bean, Mitch. So be ready.
That's not acceptable. Okay.
And actually, the Jelly Belly factory is in Wisconsin. So while you're here,
is it really?
Give that a whirl. Yeah, and give that a whirl.
That could be a fun
Tell
tour.
it to your girlfriend. She might like that.
Tour ain't over till you puke.
Girlfriend loves jelly beans, so like she'd probably be all down for this because I'd have to get all these jelly beans and I would eat one of each and just be like, let's just, oh, there we go. Oh, not bad after the Octomore. And then she'd have like 3 pounds of jelly beans to just be like, oh, this guy's an idiot.
Just spitting wet jelly beans all over the place.
Truly all over the floor.
Yeah.
All right. This time we're going to go. But
Yeah, but we do have to, to class it up.
to class it up. Oh, you're already there. Man, you are fast. Next week.
I'm there.
You are there. Next week, Edelbrand Distilling. What a tasting. They sent one hell of a sample set to each one of us. We each got a glass. We got 5 samples, 3 brandies, 2, beer, basically
2 distilled beer mashes.
beer. Yeah, they have a different
I mean,
name
they're,
for it, but it's
whiskey's beer mash, but
Still
these
a
are
whiskey.
truly beer mashes.
Yeah, that they came off of. And we had one of those before, and we really liked it. But like I said, when we got stuff in the mail from, we get in the mail from them. That's fine. They actually didn't even, they dropped it off. They muled is what they did. They were good about it. But I was more excited about what they sent with it. They sent stuff about the Missouri Distillers Guild more than they almost had of their own stuff. So a map of everybody. Just kind of bringing everyone up, showing where you're going. If you're going to make a trip, making it easier. Don't see that enough from a lot of distilleries. Kind of putting up everyone else in the area, realizing it's not just them. They can help a lot of people, and it is good to be a part of a state guild. I think you might not see it a lot, but I think it does pay its dividend when you're looking at it, and people try to help out, especially when most states now are getting a distillery trail of some sort, whatever the name of it is in their state, but something similar. And that's helpful. I think that's good when you're going places to know where to stop at. Makes a big deal. That's part of the reason we started the show, was so you know where to stop at when you're traveling around.
Yeah.
One of my main reasons. Oh my goodness.
This is for Shannon.
Maybe just twice, man.
That was for me. So.
I just had to get that out of the way for everybody. So does everyone feel better? Should we leave on that? Everyone get your wrap.
Yeah, annoy everybody and then go.
Isn't that everybody's plan? They're like the Irish goodbye. That's like the American goodbye, right? People are annoying and then,
Boom! See ya.
I'm chadding out, y'all. And leave.
What?
I said I'm going to jump in my Camaro and go to my anger management classes.
Well, the peeps did not make it.
Did you eat them all?
No, I smashed. Not see that.
Oh, I didn't do it again. What happened?
All right.
Oh, you want us to leave it? All right. Cheers, everyone. Have a good
Cheers.
evening. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.
What?